my name is Scott Ross, and I was the founder of Digital Domain, the ex-general manager of Industrial Light and Magic, and now a professor here at TAU. One of the reasons that China has become one of the great world economic powers, if not the great world economic power, is because China has become the factory, the manufacturing plant for the world. Other people come up with the IP, and what we do is we make it. And because our labor force is so good and our labor force is so inexpensive in relationship to the labor forces in other first world countries, we wind up being the factory for the world. If you apply that sort of thinking to the movie industry and the visual effects industry in particular, it seems that that's the right way to go. But in fact, it isn't, because there's a difference. And the difference is that Apple and Foxconn, for example, have this really unique relationship. The IP is invented by Apple, the design by Apple, created by Apple, but the actual manufacturing of the product is done by Foxconn. It is a symbiotic relationship between Apple and Foxconn. Apple knows that to get their products built at the quality level and the price performance they need to have their products built is a wonderful relationship with Foxconn. Foxconn knows that given the way that they manufacture their products and how they're supported within China to do that, that they can make a great product for Apple and be very profitable. So you have two companies that have this great symbiosis between the two of them. Now, Apple realizes that if they squeeze Foxconn too much and try to drain every last RMB out of them, Foxconn will go bankrupt. And therefore, the persons that would be hurt would not only be the Chinese manufacturing group Foxconn, but also would be Apple Computer. It's very different in the film industry. Fox, interestingly enough, 20th Century Fox, not Foxconn, 20th Century Fox is not used to having those kinds of relationships with its vendors. In fact, there's been a statement over the years where a major executive at a major studio has said, if I'm not putting a visual effects company out of business, I'm not doing my job. So the mind sensibility, the zeitgeist, the way in which motion picture studios work with their vendors in that vendor-client relationship is adversarial. And the movie studios, because of their culture, the way they do business, are doing everything they can to push the price down. As a result, we've seen dozens upon dozens upon dozens of visual effects companies go bankrupt. So if the Chinese visual effects companies think that that's going to be different, they're kidding themselves. Maybe for the first year or two, a visual effects company that can do pretty good work in China will be able to be profitable, because in relationship to the price point that they do it in China versus the relationship that the price point they do it in the US, for example, is considerably less. But the motion picture studio is out to squash you. And so they'll do everything they can to bring the prices down. So if you do it for 100 RMB today and you're making 40 RMB, tomorrow they'll want you to do it for 50 RMB, and then the next day for 30 RMB. And so it's just an accelerated path to bankruptcy. And there really is no visual effects company, none that I'm aware of, that is actually being run as a profitable business. My recommendation to the Chinese creative community is do not get into the services business. Do not be the outsourcing. Do not be the place where it says made in China. Be the place where it says developed in China. And if you own your own intellectual property and you're your own factory for your own goods, that's where the future is.